There was definitely mischief on 420 as we visited 20 stores on 420 for the sixth year in a row with a $420 budget to give me an idea of where the industry is going. For example, 2 years down the road, it seems like everywhere has the 420 prices. So in Seattle, we decided to take 10 stores in Tacoma down south and 10 stores in downtown Seattle where it's a little bit more touristy. Breaking that up, what you'll notice is how congested some of the stores are, as well as not only where the locations are, but inside they have 2,000 SKUs. So we'll show you some of the good products and bad products, and maybe where this gas station had the only fire in town at $4.20. So hop on board the Canna Crawl Express as we stop by 20 stores in Seattle.
It's only entertainment.
Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, capital markets analyst and host of your Cannabis Business Podcast. First stop was in Tacoma at the gallery. Like the name suggests, they kind of have a little gallery, decent 420 sales, although I didn't buy anything, wasn't cheap enough. I did see some oral spray that was interesting, kind of like a tincture, only a spray. Plenty of beverages. And again, what you'll see in Seattle compared to Vegas and a lot of other places is just how many SKUs we have. Over 2,000 at any given store makes it incredibly difficult to really buy anything. I did not use the CBD dabs. I just got a pre-roll. Second stop was Commencement Bay. That's a tribal cannabis store. They don't really allow photos, but I found that after I already took some, their deals weren't that great, but I ended up getting an ounce of Fat Panda, a fairly large processor. Don't really get their stuff, but it was like 75% off or something stupid. So I got an ounce. The World of Weed had 25% off their entire store, which is basically what you'll find anywhere nowadays. So I didn't see a lot of people out and about. It was one of the weakest 420s I've seen since I've been doing this. And I think it's because everyone gets these same store sales, 25, 30% off, at least weekly. So craft cannabis was more of a kind of a hometown spot with really decent prices. All day long, you can get prices for an ounce for $100 or less. Wasn't bad. I ended up getting a pre-roll there. Cannabis, worst name out there. This is kind of interesting spot. They have $30 ounces there all day long. They use kind of like this bank tube to send products out, which I found kind of unique or interesting. $40 grams of hash. So not everything is as cheap as this $30 ounce that I got for 21 bucks with the sales that they had. So there's some interesting stuff, but this is another really small store that might be my go-to if I lived in this area because they had some really good deals, products that are affordable all the time. So not just 420, but you can find really inexpensive deals here. They don't have thousands upon thousands of SKUs, but they have enough, for whatever things you need. So I picked up an ounce there as well. Had to drop by the cookie store. They had one employee there doing everything. That poor gal was supposed to be checking IDs, ringing people up, answering questions. Now, I was one of two people in there. There's only one other guy in there, and this store is completely out of the way. You would only go there if you really wanted cookies. That's the only reason you would go to this store, and I don't think most people care. I know I don't. I had a blunt that I paid $55 for in Vegas just a couple of weeks ago on the Vegas pot shop crawl and would not buy anything there. I use their bathroom, so I was appreciative for that, but that's about all cookies gets from me these days until they can prove themselves. Mary Mart was an interesting store. You just kind of walk up and start ordering stuff, and there's these big board with menus on it, and I just decided to take a look, snap a photo, and walk out. Emerald Leaves was another interesting store, really big, maybe good for like a music venue or whatever, but just didn't feel compelled to buy anything from there. So I walked in, looked at what they had, didn't really seem like there were any deals, and I eventually just kind of walked out after taking some photos. Diamond Green, kind of a smaller store, but pretty good. So I walked in there and asked them what their favorite product was and how many people were coming in and what the number one SKU was that people were buying consistently. And so again, it was like 80% of the bud tenders said that flour was their favorite. This gal really liked Canna Gold double stuffed cookies. The Herbal Garden, THG, smaller store, they ended up recommending some CBD edibles. They had some decent deals. I didn't buy anything there because it was just not a good enough deal, I guess, but good little small store. Kush 21 is my go-to. They had a top shelf producer processor there showcasing their brands. They have, a couple thousand SKUs in this store everywhere. This is close to my house, and they have 20 or 30, 25 or 30% off. I think it's 30% off twice a week on Fridays and Tuesdays. And so this store was fairly slow as well, a little vegan place outside. And I think people just get deals all the time, so they don't care. Cannabis City was the first one in Seattle to get a license. They recently moved kind of out of the way or whatever. Much bigger store than they had before. I really like the vibe of this place compared to the really small location they had before. They had some vendors there celebrating 420. I ended up buying an ounce from here just because it was fairly inexpensive. So normally I would maybe buy a pre-roll from this place in the past. But this year, again, I decided to take a look around a little bit longer, see what they had, and ended up buying an ounce of pre-rolls. Dockside Co-op has a museum in there. Interesting tax play. If they don't have to pay taxes on any museum, so that portion of the building is apparently tax-free. Normally, they don't have deals here. They don't have industry discounts either. And so this isn't a store I normally go to, even though I love the owner and I really like the store. It's just not my go-to. It's downtown in kind of the touristy district, but Alec is there. This other guy, Christian, is a bud tender there. Really like that store. If you like cheap prices, Zips is a place to go. As I said, 420 deals end up being the everyday low price at a place like this, like Zips, every day. So you go there, you can get $30 ounces all day long. Huge amount of selection, good vibe, loud music, lots of options, cheap prices. Ganja Goddess is one of my favorite vibes too, downtown in the kind of touristy area. They were sold out, apparently, didn't have a lot of options, but it's a really good store. Green Fire is an interesting place. I never really buy anything from there. I went in here, ended up getting some pre-rolls, but it's a good spot, I guess, if you're about to go to a Mariners game or Sounders soccer game or Seahawks football game, you show them your little thing, you can get like 25% off. So good for edibles or whatever else. They have a huge selection and a lot of glass. So whether you like concentrates, edibles, pre-rolls, they have everything. It's just not a store I go into because they don't have industry discounts, but decent discounts on 420. No discounts, however, for the $10,000 pieces of glass that they had, like this dragon thing. I think there was this Apple House, whatever, was really cool. So if you guys are shopping for me for birthday or holidays or whatever, you guys can pick up some of this glass here in Seattle and send that to me as well. So the crew was really cool. They walked me through a bunch of stuff. I ended up getting 9 ounces for $420 on 420. So that is the Pot Shop Crawl, 6th year in a row. Check out the Vegas one in Portland coming up. With that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is The Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and check out these other videos that we've got.